Oh, you're not ready for this one. Because what's bubbling up right now isn't just another royal headline, it's a full-blown firestorm threatening to scorch the House of Windsor from the inside out. Forget the usual chatter about fashion choices, Netflix deals, or family feuds. This time, it's about something far deeper, something that reaches right into the ancient heart of the monarchy. You came here to find out what's really going on with Harry and Meghan's daughter, and trust me, you'll want to hear every word. Because what's unfolding could change everything we thought we knew about the royal bloodline. For years, whispers danced around in the corners of royal circles, murmurs no one dared to say aloud. Questions about timelines, about documents, about who knew what and when. Most people brushed them off as gossip until now. Because those whispers have erupted into something much louder and much harder to ignore. There are inconsistencies, missing files, and codes that simply don't fit. And at the center of this tangled storm stands a little girl, Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. On the surface, her story looked perfect. June 2021, the California sun shining bright over Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry announcing the birth of their second child with glowing smiles. They named her Lilibet, an affectionate nod to Queen Elizabeth's childhood nickname, and Diana, in memory of Harry's mother. It was the sort of fairy tale headline that magazines dream of printing. Harry and Meghan, finally free from the palace machinery, starting fresh under the golden skies of California. But the shine didn't last. Something about the picture didn't quite fit. As royal watchers and online sleuths began poking around, oddities started surfacing, tiny cracks that, once spotted, were impossible to ignore. Because in the royal world, paperwork isn't just bureaucracy, it's proof. Proof of birth, proof of lineage, proof that a child is truly part of the royal bloodline. And the monarchy's rules for this proof are carved in stone, older than the palaces themselves. First, the parents must be a man and a woman. Fine, no issue there. Second, they must be legally married in the Church of England, check again. But then come the third and fourth rules, the ones that make all the difference. The child must be conceived naturally, and most crucially, born from the body of the mother. And that birth must be supported by official records, signed doctors, hospital. Verification, government certificates. Miss one of those requirements, and the child cannot, under royal law, be in the line of succession. No gray areas, no exceptions. And that's where things start to unravel. Because when people looked at Lilibet's so-called birth certificate, what they found made no sense. The document floating around online had all the trappings of legitimacy: names, dates, hospital details, even Harry's royal title. But the problem wasn't in what was written. It was in the numbers. Every U.S. birth certificate has a unique state code, and California's is 104. But on Lilibet's supposed certificate, the number was 105. That code doesn't belong to California, it belongs to Colorado. That's not a typo. That's a physical impossibility. A baby can't be born in Santa Barbara with a Colorado record number. It's like claiming you were born in Los Angeles, but your birth certificate says Denver. And once that detail came out, the entire story began to wobble. Then came the next twist. The obstetrician named on the certificate, Dr. Melissa Drake, quietly disappeared from public medical practice soon after the alleged birth. She released a short note saying she was taking time off for her health and family. On the surface, innocent enough. But then came the kicker. Her husband runs a fertility clinic. Suddenly, questions about natural conception and surrogacy started flying like wildfire. Was Meghan truly the one who gave birth to Lilibet? Was there a surrogate involved, hidden behind a wall of privacy statements and PR gloss? At first, this sounded like conspiracy chatter, until an independent investigator decided to go straight to the source. They contacted California's Office of Vital Records, requesting verification. The response was staggering: no record found. In official terms, the state had no public record of a Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor being born in California on June 4, 2021. Instead,
don't you miss that feeling, getting lost in a story that feels like it was written just for you? If your heart needs a little magic, click on the link in I button or in the description or pinned comment. It's waiting at infalibster.com. Go feel something again.
What existed was something called a certificate of no public record, meaning, in the state's eyes, this person doesn't appear in their birth registry at all. Now pause for a moment. We're talking about the daughter of a prince, seventh in line to the British throne, and the state where she was supposedly born says there's no record of her birth. That's not a minor error. That's a seismic red flag. And it doesn't stop there. The version of the birth certificate seen online listed Harry's name as His Royal Highness the Duke of Sussex. But under California law, official documents can't include titles. Only legal names are permitted. Meaning, if that certificate truly came from a California office, it would have said Henry Charles Albert David. Nothing more. Which means one of two things. Either someone altered the certificate, or it's not genuine to begin with. So, now we've got three major red flags: a Colorado code, a missing official record, and a document using illegal royal titles. Each strange enough on its own, but together, they paint a troubling picture. Because in the world of monarchy, coincidences that convenient rarely exist. Still, the investigation didn't stop there. Determined to find answers, that same researcher kept digging. They followed up with California officials, even recording a lengthy phone call where an employee confirmed, without hesitation, that California birth codes are always 104. Always. Never 105. So, if Lilibet's certificate said 105, it could not have been issued by California. Next, the investigator went international. They filed a Freedom of Information request with the UK Parliament, asking for details about Archie's birth at London's Portland Hospital, hoping it might shed light on whether similar irregularities existed. The reply? We're not a hospital. Contact Buckingham Palace. The palace, however, isn't bound by information laws and doesn't have to answer. So, when journalists reached out to the palace for comment, they were met with silence. What we're left with is an eerie triangle of denial. The US state where the birth supposedly happened says no record exists. The UK government shrugs it off as not their business. And the palace, arguably the only body that could clarify the truth, refuses to say a word. Meanwhile, on the official royal website, both Archie and Lilibet sit comfortably in the line of succession, numbers 6 and 7, as though nothing's amiss. And that's where things get serious. Because the monarchy isn't built on emotion, it's built on legitimacy. On the unbroken, documented line from one generation to the next. The rules were designed to prevent any question about royal blood. Every royal baby in history has had their birth witnessed, certified, and verified. Doctors' signatures displayed proudly outside Buckingham Palace, names recorded in public registers for the world to see. Until Archie. Until Lilibet. No public verification, no hospital photos, no signed documents displayed, just press releases and polished family portraits. That's all. And without the paperwork, the entire foundation of their royal status teeters on shaky ground. If Meghan didn't physically give birth, or if the record of birth can't be proven authentic, the royal line is technically broken at that point. So, why the silence? Why wouldn't the palace or the Sussexes just clear it up with one official document? Because any answer now would raise even bigger questions. If it was simply a clerical error, surely it could have been fixed long ago. Yet years have passed and still nothing. That's where the three major theories come in, each one with massive implications. Theory 1. It's all a bureaucratic blunder. Maybe someone at the records office made a mistake typing the wrong code. It's possible, sure, but unlikely. We're talking about a royal birth watched by millions. Mistakes like that don't just slip through the cracks unnoticed for 4 years. Theory 2. Surrogacy or adoption. If Meghan didn't carry Lilibet herself, then under royal law, the requirement of birth from the body of the mother isn't met. That would instantly invalidate Lilibet's right to succession, and possibly Archie's too, if similar circumstances applied. This theory would explain the secrecy, the missing records, and the strange disappearance of the doctor tied to a fertility clinic. And Theory 3, deliberate cover-up. The idea that every odd detail, the royal title on the certificate, the missing record, Even the misplaced code might have been a distraction, a smokescreen to keep public focus on small errors while hiding the bigger truth beneath. Whatever the case, the stakes couldn't be higher. If these inconsistencies were ever confirmed, it wouldn't just be a PR disaster, it would spark a constitutional crisis. The line of succession would need revising, official documents rewritten, titles possibly revoked. It would be chaos. Now, imagine being inside the palace walls as this storm brews. Silence doesn't always mean calm, it often means panic. Every institution involved has gone quiet, each pointing fingers elsewhere. Parliament won't intervene. The California registrar won't verify. And the palace, well, the palace thrives on silence. Because acknowledging a problem this big could unravel centuries of tradition. Harry and Meghan, meanwhile, seem to carry on, their children's titles displayed proudly on the royal website. But among insiders, whispers have turned into nervous murmurs. Because if proof ever emerged that those births weren't as claimed, both children's royal status could vanish overnight. And here's the part that makes this story feel almost Shakespearean. The monarchy, an institution obsessed with lineage and legitimacy, now finds its future clouded by uncertainty surrounding two of its youngest members. The children are innocent in all this, of course. But innocence doesn't erase royal protocol. The system doesn't care about feelings. It cares about facts, about documentation, about laws carved in centuries of tradition. And until those laws are satisfied, until Lilibet's records are verified, the questions will only grow louder. Because shadows don't fade when ignored, they spread. And the more the palace refuses to speak, the more the public wonders what it's hiding. So here we are at the edge of a royal mystery that refuses to die. It's not about gossip or tabloid drama anymore. It's about truth. A truth buried beneath layers of silence and secrecy. Because if the documents don't exist, or if they say something different than what the world's been told, then the monarchy's bloodline may already be fractured. And that's the nightmare scenario. A centuries-old institution built on heritage and legitimacy suddenly standing on ground that's anything but solid. Maybe that's why Buckingham Palace remains so still, because admitting even one inconsistency could send shockwaves through the throne itself. So, as the world waits, one question grows louder than all the rest. What really happened on that June day in 2021? Because in royal history, birth isn't just the beginning of life, it's the beginning of power. And when power is built on uncertainty, the entire crown trembles.